This year's 2020 graduating class is so very special. You're graduating at the beginning of a new decade, and at the same time, our lives have been put on pause, and we're working across states, the country, and the globe to build a pathway forward. I would like to introduce you to this year's commencement speaker, someone who knows all about determination and what it's like to move forward and up the highest mountains, our own Alison Levine. Alison, I am truly amazed and humbled every time I tell people about you and everything you've done. You earned a BA in communications at the University of Arizona in 1987. So how are you doing today, Alison? It's been a while since I've talked to you, but we talked sort of at the first of this, but how are you doing today?
I'm hanging in there. I think that, these are unprecedented times. We don't really know what the future holds. We don't know what tomorrow is going to look like. We don't know what a month from now is going to look like. We don't know what a year from now is going to look like, but that's okay. We don't have to know what the
Yeah.
future is going to look like. All we have to do is worry about, putting one foot in front of the other and moving forward.
So you've got so many accomplishments, but can you just, for the viewers of this video we're recording, can you just talk about your life's work and all the things that you've done? I mean, every time I hear it, I just shake my head and think, how is that possible? But maybe just share with the
Sure.
class of 2020 some of the things that you've been able to accomplish once you left the U of A.
So once I left the U of A, I had a traditional business career. I worked in telecom. I worked in the pharmaceutical industry. I worked in sales. I worked in marketing. I worked in international business development. I lived overseas. I did business in 6 different countries. That was all very exciting. Went back, got an MBA, worked in investment banking. And then I also had this alternate life where I was an adventurer, and I still am an adventurer. And I served as the team captain for the first American women's Everest expedition. I climbed the highest peak on all 7 continents and skied to both the North and the South Pole, which is a feat called the Adventure Grand Slam. So I've had definitely a lot of adventure in my life since leaving the University of Arizona. But I got to tell you that the time I spent there in Tucson was a pretty great adventure as well.
Well, I still can't comprehend all that. Just to summit Everest alone. I mean, we were talking about how you made an attempt and you got, you could see it, but you had to come all the way back down and take a few years before you did it again. Tell me what that was like.
Yeah, so my initial attempt on Everest was with the first American women's Everest expedition. That was in 2002. We got to within 275 feet from the summit, and then we had to turn back in bad weather. And it took me about 8 years before I got up enough guts to try it again and made it to the top in 2010. But what I realized in 2002 is that even though we just, we got that close and didn't quite get to the top of the mountain, really it was the lessons I learned along the way that were most important. And those are the lessons that allowed me to achieve a lot more things going forward, because we learn as much from failure, if not more from failure, I think, than we do from success. And so it's really important to realize that failure is one thing that happens to you at one point in time. It doesn't define you. And I know that all these graduates going forward, they're going to have plenty of failures. It's just part of the learning curve, but they're going to have plenty of success as well. And it's important to look back on both and reflect on both and see what you can do better going forward.
Yeah, so we've got this new campaign that you've helped us out with, and thank you so much for it, which is all about wonder. Thinking about our graduates, the theme, Wonder Moves Us Forward, really kind of fits. I bet you've got a story or two about how wonder has moved you forward in your career.
Yes. Well, I can tell you, first of all, in the mountains, it's what really uh, sort of motivated me to keep going forward. So every time I was on a big mountain where I thought I was going to quit and I thought, oh, I can't do this. It's too hard. I can't keep going. I'm too tired. I'm going to turn around and go down. And I thought, before I turn around and go down, I'm just going to take one more step, right? Because maybe things will look a little bit different from just one more step away. So I take one more big step and I think, okay, now that I'm here, I'm just going to take one more step. All right, I'm definitely going to go down. I'm definitely going to turn around. But before I do that, I'm just going to take one more step because I just want to see what it looks like from a little bit further up. And I would take one more step and one more step and one more step. And then eventually I found myself on the top of the mountain. And so that's what it is. It's just wonder for me is what propels me forward and gets me excited about seeing what the next view is going to look like.
Well, you know, we can all learn a lot from you and your life experiences. That never quit attitude. I really love that. Sometimes you get so tired and you feel so despondent and alone, and especially during this time. I think you're the ideal person to send a message as this year's commencement speaker at the University of Arizona to the class of 2020 about don't give up, never get up. We've got your back. You'll never be forgotten. This has been a crazy time to finish the semester out. We're not having live graduation where we can all be in Arizona Stadium. We look forward to doing that next year and having a special celebration for our class of 2020 in the coming months. But Alison, I can't thank you enough for taking the time to do this video with me today to kind of introduce you to your family, the Wildcat Nation.
I was going to say, of course, I'm happy to do the video because you're my family and all the graduates are my family. And I'm so thrilled we have this huge Wildcat family and that never goes away. I mean, it just gets bigger and bigger. And that's what's so amazing about it is your Wildcat family will be there for you forever. And I don't want anyone to ever forget that. You're not alone. You're not alone. You might be by yourself for a short amount of time, but you are never alone because we're always here. We are always here.
Bear down and go Cats.